Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 6 of BOL Diamond. I'm Camcom, joined by TDS here on Blue Otter Stream number 2 tonight. We have WLS current 3rd seed taken on CB Diamond current 2nd seed TDS. We have one E-sub and one a rostered sub playing for CB Diamond here tonight, and WLS coming with the strong 5-man starters that we talked about, and that is why you see the 2 missing bans here from CB Diamond for the E-sub penalty reasoning. But the E-sub is not an unknown player at all. It is Coach Ju as their AD carry. He played on the starter roster for CB Diamond last split when they did take BOL first. They won BOL with this player. He was coaching this roster up until this week, and now he is jumping in as a last-minute substitute. So he is very well acquainted with the roster. So I don't think it's going to affect them a whole lot, but still hasn't played in a minute here. TDS. Oh, no. They can't hear you. I don't think you picked the right microphone in OBS. Okay, well, TDS fixes his microphone. Sorry about that. We are well on our way into draft here. With 2 missing bans in the first phase. Of course, some of the more popular picks do make it through. Every single AD carry made it through. We had 0 AD carry bans from our first 4 bans, and Hecarim also. We talked about it in the podcast a little bit in TDS. I think you are now here, but Hecarim has been a very high priority champion in the both Gold and Diamond Leagues, so absolutely an excellent B1 here for WLS.
Okay, so I think I'm back. I should be back.
Yes.
If it's the case, perfect. Then yes, to starters, it is the Hecarim first pick, like you're pointing out, quite a strong pick we have seen so frequently. He does so much after level 6. He can get onto the meta AD carries, which are the kind of the Seri, the Jinx, even killing and those others that have been popping up with quite ease thanks to his ultimate. And I feel like that's why we see so much priority towards this champion. Now, from the side of CV Diamond, on thing into the Lee Sin and Ashe, Lee Sin quite a good early game jungler that can impact lanes efficiently. And against a farming jungler in the form of the Hecarim, I feel like can find a lot of pressure. And if he can find that pressure and put him behind, he's going to be quite effective. The Ashe is quite surprising, but I like to see the Ashe popping up here and there, especially because it allows for the big potential out of CB Diamond to be much higher, and the Lee Sin deals enough damage to be able to kill someone.
Yeah, I think Ash has been coming up a little bit more recently because of course she did get buffs on most recent patch.
Ooh.
Her R now increases with speed as it travels, so that is kind of going against physics a little bit there. So global ultimates getting buffs is not something we get to see a whole lot. She is still mostly a utility AD carry. Of course, if she is coming out of lane with 2 or 3 kills, and she is going to be doing a whole lot of damage, especially for a really strong AD carry player like Coach Ju down there in the bot lane. So I'm not gonna say quite yet that they aren't playing for bot side. I think especially if they lock in a really strong engaged support here on R3 or R4 like a
Which they did.
Nautilus, then it
Yep.
can still absolutely with the Lee Sin Beast played very strong bot side. Senna as well, not known for her early game damage whatsoever. So absolutely Coach Ju and Condurex down here in the bot lane could just have a field day.
Yeah, the value of this feels like it's try and get control over the bot lane, try and have as much pressure as possible, so that you can allow for your listen to then just move around freely and don't have to be that worried about the champions being able to focus a listen before you can get to help him. On the other side, we have the Senna and the Jace. I think that Senna we haven't seen quite much from her, especially because of the recent interaction problems that she has had, which
Yeah.
means that a lot of people were shying away from picking her, but I feel like she's such a strong champion. She has so much utility, she has so much value with other supports, and I feel like with a team like this one that is kind of depending on to trying to fight for objectives and the like, the Senna is going to work marvelous. This also means that whoever champion you pick in the bot lane can be quite a good assistance to the Senna. I think Sion would be a great option. Cho'Gath would be a great option. If I'm honest, if you're looking for tanks, even Ornn could be an option with the Senna. So I'm quite interested in seeing what they opt into here.
Yeah, Senna, I like that you mentioned that. Senna opens up just so many opportunities for supports that we just don't get to see down here in the bot lane. So Jace being locked in means that any of these maybe secondary tank engages like a top lane or Ornn or something like that would
Yep.
actually be going down here in the bot lane. Nasus support has been made a little bit more popular recently. I don't think his slow is as powerful into an Ashe or a Lee Sin here, so unless they pick some sort of
True.
super high speed champion here on R4. Ari is a strong
Ooh.
contender for that. So maybe we get to see the secret super dark tech of NASA support if we're going for something extremely spicy here in game 1. But with both of these teams having
Huh.
locked playoffs already, I'm almost expecting them to not be showing those super strong counter picks quite or super strong pocket picks quite yet. Save them for playoffs. Keep your secrets until then. You already know you're going to be making it into playoffs, and not going to be as exciting as a NASA support, but a lot more,
Yep.
simple to execute. I would say is the Braum.
True. This is the slow until you're dead kind of composition that you get.
Yeah.
Not quite the Nessus, but you still will get a slow thanks to the Winter Spy, the Stun out of the Braum, and even the disengage potential. Because one thing that CV Diamond has quite a lot is big potential. You have the Charm, you have the Arrow, you have the Listen, you have the Nautilus. With the Braum, you can disengage quite effectively and then try and play around, re-engage with the Hecarim, with the Rise that now is being covered and picked. So it's going to work out quite effectively for those fights, like we pointed out previously. One thing that I want to say though is that with the prom being picked, I feel like that we're going to get an actually farming Senna, not a
Yeah.
fasting Senna, but an actual farming Senna,
Mm-hmm.
which is a different kind of playstyle that you typically see from the Senna, but it's still quite viable, especially thanks to changes that she received previously. It's much more better to see right now than it was previously. And now as the last pick, we're going for a counter pick top lane, which I'm kind of interested in seeing.
Oh,
We have seen
okay.
this. This is not new. I think City
This
with
is not
Diamond.
new.
Yeah, I feel this is something that they already pulled off. If I'm trying to not blank on this,
Yes.
but yeah, we saw it
It
on
was
stream.
It was their one win. You are remembering correctly
Yeah.
here at TDS against Gothboy Click. Their game 2 was when HTK pulled out the York, and that was the only game that they were able to win against Gothboy. So maybe it is. It was also an R5 counter pick in that game as well. So
Yep.
maybe it is their secret counter pick that they've kind of started to reveal here a little bit. I mean, it's not brand new like you are saying. They have picked it. This will be, I believe, their third game
Third,
now
yeah.
for HTK on the York pick. Very exciting. He does have the one win. Let me see. I think the other one, yeah. So it is 100%
That's
win rate for him so
yeah.
far. So
He has one too.
absolutely, don't be down the York. I like it as a pick.
Yeah, I think that it can work well. If I'm not wrong, he picked it against the set, which was
Mm-hmm.
amazing matchup as well in that game that where they lost against Scott quickly. This time around, a little bit more range in the form of the Jace. And the gank potential from the Hecarim at level 6 is probably going to be a little bit better, especially with the burst that you may get against the Yori. But I'm still interested in seeing it. One thing that you can play as with CB Diamond is a 4 squad kind of play on one side and then the split pusher on the other with the Yori, where just focus on picking with those 4 champions that we pointed previously, and then the jury just split pushes when they have to either send a lot of attention to stop him or they leave him free to keep on pushing. But one thing that I'm worried about is that I'm not sure if this is the same kind of bot lane that they run when the jury was picked. Because if I remember correctly, with the last time that we saw it, they run I think the same bot lane that they run in the first game, which made it a little bit more logical to see how they want to play and how much pressure do they want to give the Yorick or the bot lane.
So game 1 with the York, it was Zeri Lulu, and game 2 it was Jinx Thresh. So both of
Okay,
those very high damage 80 carries
yeah,
because York is a very tanky beefy boy. He's not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. I say that now and he
in
can
a
start doing
one-on-one,
Ornn damage, but it's not going to be the same amount of damage as a Jinx or a Zeri, right?
yeah,
So CB Diamond comp lacking a little bit of damage, something that WLS's comp really doesn't lack at all. They have crazy damage from Jinx or
yep.
Jace, crazy damage from Ryze late game, and then Senna will eventually be able to match them later on. She's
Even Hecarim,
mostly there for poke and setup and the same infinite scaling that Ryze does have. So I think early game will go slightly more in favor of CB Diamond, but their team fighting just with their champs in their comps is significantly harder. Yorick, he doesn't want to be there for team fights. He wants to split push, which and Ari also kind of wants to split push. Not really a huge team fighter for her either. Both
yep.
of these champions, they excel much more in picks and much more in side lanes, which makes these team fightings, assuming that CB Diamond is able to take the early game with some sort of lead, much harder. You gotta play a different macro game.
Yeah, it's adaptation in terms of how you want to play. I feel like I don't want to say it's easier or harder because it's just a different way of
Yeah.
trying to play. But if you can execute on it, it's going to be much easy to pull off in the early stages. Like
Mm-hmm.
from 10 to 25 minutes, I think that CB Diamond has a really nice composition to play around. Picks are going to be quite great for them. If they can get a lead out of that, I feel like they have the comp to be able to snowball. And one thing that you point out, they may lack a little bit of damage later on, but there's no true tank on the side of WLS, apart
Mm-hmm.
from maybe Hickory and Braum, which means that as long as they can get a lead, they will be able to get enough damage with that gold diff, with that wallet diff, to be able to go over these champions, which I think it's fine for CB Diamond. Now, post 30 minutes, WLS composition seems way better 100% of the time, so it makes sense how this game should play out and how CB Diamond should try and win out this game.
Now, TDS, my favorite part. I have the predictions graphic here. Yes, it worked. Okay, cool.
Nice.
So we've actually disagreed on the matchup here, you and I. You said CB Diamond. I originally had CB Diamond, actually, and then today, after learning that they were playing with 2 substitutes, I did end up changing
True.
it to a WLS. TDS, would you have changed it to WLS?
See, I didn't have access to that information, so I would
Okay.
have thought it. I would have thought about it twice, but I still feel like Civic Diamond should be able to pull it off. So I would say I
Okay.
think that probably I would have said 2-1 because previously I had a little bit more of a 2-0 idea, but 2-1 would have been still my guess in this one.
Yeah, I think series I'm also going to be going 2-1, but in the favor of WLS. Maybe Semi Diamond Timeless will come back in the future of this series, but based on how he was talking during our recording earlier today, I don't think that is the
Just
plan.
like no.
So Coach
Okay.
Ju most likely will be playing 2 or 3 games tonight, of course, depending on how long the series goes. Now, back to this draft here at TDS. Predictions for this game here. Don't know the teams, don't know the players, don't know the past Yorick history. Where are we looking for this game?
Well, I like WLS's composition effective a lot, thanks to the fact that they don't really need to play around their the mistakes made around. They just need to survive and try and make as little mistake as possible. Meanwhile, Civi Diamond needs to not make a lot of mistakes because their composition can fall over quite easily, and we have seen examples of this failing quite in recent memory. So I wouldn't be all in for Civi Diamond's composition, but at least I can see the idea behind the just be aggressive, try and get the kills, and go for it. Now, with all that said, I think WLS should win thanks to their composition. I really like it. I like the idea and I like the way that it's bound to work out the transition between early to mid to late
Mm-hmm.
game and the champions, how they should work effectively. I feel like they can find that value.
Yes, I agree. I think WLS's comp is just a lot more cohesive, a lot easier to be able to pull off. Yes, you might fall behind a little bit in the early game, but with these teams being second seed and third seed right now coming into this series, I'm not worried about ease of execution. So absolutely, I
Yeah,
think WLS, as long as they don't like actually drop 10 kill or 10 deaths in the early game, I think they can
true.
absolutely come out with the win. Just infinitely more scaling. You have a Rise, you have a Senna. Hecarim is like the best jungler right now, equivalent to Jinx in the AD carry position. But Spectator Delay is about to end. We will go to a very brief break as we load onto the Rift. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back now onto Summoner's Rift. Once again, I'm Camcom, joined by TDS here tonight. WLS taking on CB Diamond in their Week 6 best of 3 match. I was about to say Week 3 best of 6 match. That would be far more exciting, but no, it is unfortunately the other way around. This is the penultimate week of regular season here, so both these teams are 100% locked for playoffs. We are playing purely for seeding, but seeding is actually quite important between these two teams because top two do secure a bye in quarterfinals. So this is almost a battle of who gets the bye. Of course, we do still have one more week after this, so that could absolutely decide it as well. But tiebreakers between these two teams head to head is very important to try and claim it the second to last week here tonight.
Yeah, and it feels like Lotus, which is on first place, will not drop games. So it's all on to who can get that second spot. So
Yeah.
these games actually matter quite a lot. Now, CB Diamond obviously and luckily had to change a couple of players for tonight's match, but I still feel like they should have enough to be able to pull themselves up. And it's I think a little bit more on WLS to showcase the other way around and pull off their weight and win against this CB Diamond without some players.
Yeah, of course. The two subs, not really subs, but Kyle Good has only played with this CB Diamond roster for just the last week. So this is his second week playing with them. And like I did mention in draft phase, Coach Ju did play with the CB roster that one BOL split last split, but he has only been coaching them up until this point. So he is considered the E-sub of this match. That is why they're losing 2 bans in the first phase for this whole series, but he is not by any means unknown to the roster, and neither is Kyle Good. So I don't think
Yeah.
VE or both the subs will have that huge of an impact, but absolutely still, 5-man starter roster would have been stronger.
Yeah, certainly. Like the players you have been playing with all around are going to more than likely be much more effective than players that you're bringing on, even if you have some sort of synergy with them previously. Now, importantly, the reason why we're calling him Coach Ju, just like you say, it's because he is the coach. So that's why
Yes.
we're not saying his actual summoner name.
I
Just to
like to
leave it
call
there.
coaches my coach. That's just how
Yeah.
I learned.
I think makes sense to every one of us, and especially me, since I don't want to call his summoner name either. So just a point there. But importantly, now that we're talking about the subs and how they're going to play, I want to focus a little bit on Kyle and on Kyle Good because he started topside, utilizing the Yorick a little bit to help him clear, especially because Yorick is not like he's going to gain control of the wave anyway. So he's trying to utilize that topside start into then go bot side and maybe begin attacking the bot lane jungle. But on the other side, Jalingo going for the full clear, he went for his spot side at the start, then go looking into the top side. And with this wave, we may see a potential first gank after the Scarlet because the wave is slowly pushing towards the Jace.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Conrex and Kyle Good are kind of hovering the mid lane here, so they could
Yeah.
potentially have a 3-man gank onto Earl King there very early on. But no, as I say, the Conrex, he walks back down to the bot side. He was just kind of scouting in the bot
Yep.
jungle for Jalingo. He is still level 2, so that did take quite a bit of XP out of him and put it into Coach Ju's pockets instead. Jalingo, he's just recalled up there the top side. You see, he is not actually going for any ganks. The wave state
He's
isn't
still
in
there though.
that a great of a spot for him, so he's just there to soak up a little bit of XP and just waste some time from Kyle Good.
Yeah, and the problem with that, from my opinion, is that he's waiting a little bit too long to go for the back. I think he has canceled back twice already. Now he decides to back, but that long time that he took to back meant that Kyle Good finally was able to come back a little bit in terms of farming. He's going to hit level 4 now, and he can look towards the top side potentially for a gank as well. Like the wave isn't a great spot for the Jace, don't get me wrong, but with the cage, you can set up quite well for your jungler. It's a really nice spot to try and set up for a potential gank.
Yeah, this is kind of what we were predicting in the draft phase, right? Is the early game is only slightly in favor of CB Diamond, but both of these team comps are very heavy in scaling, so early game, as expected, going fairly quietly. Not any kills into the 5-minute mark, and probably not either team starting the dragon right on spawn, so we're just here to farm it out for probably the next 5, maybe 10 even minutes, but there's going to be a kill at least before then.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to get a first blood now. Want to bet on which plays get the first blood? I want to say it's going to be top lane, if I'm honest.
Okay. top
Oh,
lane
Kyle Good is
is your
here.
prediction, and I think you might have spotted Kyle Good on
Oh
the mini
no!
map there. That will be the first blood of, as I say, it's a quiet early game. Absolutely, they have to prove me wrong. Excellent gank up there on, or excellent dive even by Kyle Good onto Binoma. That, you know, it's just the power pick of the Yorick. The Yorick did so much right there. Absolutely, it's the R5 counter pick, I think, is what got it for him.
Yeah, funnily enough, it kind of was thanks to the amount of damage that he did to the Jace. Also, I kind of want to talk about Vignona because I feel like he was window shopping without noticing the Lee Sin coming
Yeah.
through. Because at no point did he actually try to move. He just was there standing, died, and not even moving at all at any point, which kind of funny, but it's still great first blood for Kyle Wood. The only positive thing for Vignona is that Jory gets nothing. Oh,
Binyoma not super happy about being dove so early on. Trapped in the
ouch.
baby cage there, so they are both taken to half HP. If HDK popped level 6 right there, that could have been a second death for Binyoma. So he was kind of playing with fire there a
Easily.
little bit, just throwing, just depending on where the XP did land between the both of them. Earl King did pop that level 6 here, so with the Realm Orb available, could look for a roam
Ooh,
onto either of these
Soulbert.
side lanes. Hook, unfortunately, does hit a minion there for Conarx, or could have been another kill down here for the bot lane.
Yeah, they could have looked potentially for that. Still, I really like how Soulbert played around it. He has the range, so he doesn't need to care that much about playing away from the minion wave, which I think would benefit much more Condorix. But it also means that the position, it does not allow for a trade, but as long as you stay alive, it's important. Like, funnily enough, they have a CS lead in the bot lane thanks to playing towards the wave. Same with the top lane. Top lane is much more detrimental for the Tory. He's 20 CS behind. But on the bot lane, having that small lead is actually quite nice to have, especially against an Ashe, which is a matchup you don't expect to have a deficit like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And in theory, we were, at least in draft phase, saying that Coach Ju and Conrix were supposed to play this as an almost kill lane, right? As
Yep.
they just have far more damage, far more CC early on in this game. And now
Ooh.
we've got the 4-side bot side here. Soulbert and Final Ninja not having level 6 for either one of them. TP being
Oh, they
chosen
get
in
the
from Earl
teleport.
King very early on here just to make sure that nothing is actually going, or nobody's actually going to be pulling the trigger down here on the dive. And that's just a very strong macro play in the early game here from CB Diamond. They got a TP for absolutely no cost to them.
Yeah, honestly, quite surprised that we see the teleport being utilized in that play, especially because even though I understand that there was a potential risk kind of existing in the surface, realistically, the wave wasn't that pushed. The Senna was doing a nice job keeping it far away,
Yeah.
and the dive was going to be quite hard to pull off because none of those didn't have ultimate. Ashe just hit level 6, which means that she just hit ultimate, and that means that the play is going to be super hard. It's banking 100% on either hitting the hook behind the turret, which is not the best of things, or hitting the charm, which can fail a lot of the times as well. So it was a play that could have been so hard to pull off for CB Diamond. And if you get one counter kill, it's much more valuable than just trying to blow out the teleporter. Still, they go for the safer play. They opt into the teleport to deny any potential play from happening. And it's not like the wave was lost in the mid lane because Hecarim answered it correctly, and they still were able to get a little bit of a positive play thanks to just pushing the wave and putting the area into a top spot once again. Nice, Sean.
Ooh, Earl King being chunked out. Quarter of HP there from just the charm. But yes, I did want to mention
Oh,
here very
Beniona.
quickly. Oh, I might have to hold that. Binioma for Splash outside the baby cage. I think he will be alright. Condrex is roaming up here as well. Jolingo spotted on a ward as well as Final Ninja. But quickly, before everything explodes up here on the top side, I did want to mention Coach Ju did not have the level 6 for that dive, so Enchanted Crystal was only available after it, and now we've got the
Ooh.
4v3 up here on the top side river. Enchanted Crystal is coming in
Oh,
and unfortunately will not be finding any targets for itself. Little Chovy, they're going in with the
oh, the
Spirit Rush.
dash in.
Nice charm landing, but unfortunately there's not
Oh,
going to be enough damage to secure the
he's
kill on the
dead. Yeah.
Binyoma. He has to use another charge, going even farther forward. Caligan again, not enough damage to secure any kills. He's going to be going in
He's
onto the
diving
second
in.
tier tower all on his
Oh,
own. He
no.
doesn't have a target to kick, and he's just going to be going down now as well. Excellent hook landed onto Duolingo. Little Chovy dying under the second tier tower as well, and that is a 2-for-1 very far overcommit by CB Diamond.
The greed in their eyes was so apparent. They overcommit for the dive. They overcommit to get a kill that, yes, it's nice to have, but if you get the Rift Herald there, you get even more gold than that measly kill. So it's Really an overcommitment, not the best of plays to pull off, and great punishment by WLS. They get two
Yes.
counter kills. They get a kill on the Hecarim and a kill on the Rise, which I think is quite important because those two champions are going to be their front line in some way. And I think that getting those kills to try and make them be as strong as possible is going to be really, really valuable for them. Also, the thing that I want to point out, Senna is opting into lethality build, which I don't think it's bad. It's I think one of the newer options thanks to the fact that the lethality route was buffed. But I feel like in this kind of compositions, having a little bit more consistent damage in the form of the Kraken Slayer or something like that would have been more beneficial, especially because I don't think that you are quite banking on poke, you're quite banking on surviving yourself and dealing a lot of consistent damage. But it's a
Yeah,
choice.
I definitely don't hate the lethal or lethality, right? Because Earl King on the Rise, of course, does have that DPS damage, so you can go for slightly more burst, as Coach Ju could be dove down here in the bot side. The rest of his
Ouch.
team is currently on the top side taking the Herald. He's the only member down here in the
Oh, I
bot,
think
and
he's
Jalingo.
dead.
This is a very easy dive. Nice counter ultimate there from Coach Ju, though. He's really trying to turn this
He's
1v2
trying.
or
I think he
1v3
gets
even,
one.
and that is going to be a tower shot landing onto Final Ninja, and in the 1v3, Coach Ju makes it a 1-for-1.
Yeah, getting a 1-for-1 in that kind of situation quite nice. They also get the Rift Herald on top lane. They are
Yeah.
going to give such a huge influx of gold to HTK, which this Yorick getting that is going to be really, really important for the side lane. We're seeing how the Yorick is winning that much quite effectively. Like as the time when he gets the cage down, he can just do so much damage to the Jays, and it's quite hard for the Jays to actually try and survive. So I feel like this is such a great move and great job by Joe to be able to survive like that by Coach Chu to survive like that
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
get a
This
kill.
is this is a huge tempo advantage play for CB Diamond. The fact that
Ooh.
it went at all even, not even just ahead. All they needed was even for Coach Ju down there on the bot side, and then as
Yeah,
much as they are able to get up here on the top side is just far, far more worth in their favor. Soulbert picked up 2 soul plates down there in the bot side, as well as that second dragon, so it is now tied 1-1 between the first 2 dragons. Mountain Soul as well, so a very powerful soul this game, depending on which team is able to take it. But 1.5 towers, almost 2 entire towers taken on the top side by CB Diamond.
yeah, and the second one would have been better, the greatest tower to get because of the amount of gold that it gives. But beggars can be choosers. They get the first turret gold. They get a lot of value into this Yorick, which went for first item Hullbreaker. I think kind of showcases his priority, right? Go for the sideline, try and
Yes.
impact the sideline as much as possible. Don't bother team fighting, which I think it's a correct idea. I think that you shouldn't bother with team fighting quite a bit, quite much. And I think that this is a nice position to be in a CV Diamond because at 13 minutes to have your Yorick opened up because the top lane turret is down, as well as having your other champions potentially much stronger. The Ari has a first item already. The Ashe, yes, she's a little bit behind, but with the Dragon coming in 4 minutes at the time where she gets her first item power spike, it's going to be quite nice still.
Yeah, and Ashe, unlike most current meta AD carries, I think does spike the most off of just a mythics, as most AD carries, at least the most meta ones right now, spike off of 2 or 3 items. So first item
Yeah.
spikers are a little bit more rare. So it is. It will help absolutely on that next dragon fight. Dragon number 3 is very important. That does usually decide where the mid game tempo does start to lean, right? As right now it is a very even game, even on dragons, even on kills, even on towers as well. The gold lead is just 200 in favor of WLS, which is like 3 wards, right? So absolutely
Yeah.
nothing. It is this next dragon that is really gonna just start to dictate the pace of the rest of the game, whether it goes to CB Diamond with that item spike for Coach Ju or onto the more scaling side of WLS. If they are able to start getting these scaling members of Soulbert and Earl King slight more gold into their pockets, hopefully Earl King with the mythic as well for this next dragon will just kind of blow this game out of the water.
Yeah, and I feel like for City Diamond, it's important that it does happen because, like you're bringing up with the dragons being equal, it's quite important that they are able to get a lead out of that. Like they cannot fight equally dragons. They cannot
Yes.
allow for the soul to go over 30 minutes either because they are a composition that don't really want the game to go that far. If they were able to get the second dragon, then the game would have been in an even better sport for City Diamond. And that's why I feel like that dive that we saw onto this tier 2 doubling turret where they already got a kill onto the Jays was so bad because they get a free herald in that play, and then they can just look for the second dragon without having much contest, which I think would have been the overall way of playing, and it would have net them even more of an advantage. But in this spot, they're still fine to a certain degree. They can still play this quite nicely, and if they can get a kill before the dragon, it's going to be even better for them.
Jalingo and Final Ninja hovering this top side here. You see the opposite for the jungle support duo for CB Diamond. So that is kind of showing where on the map both of these teams are trying to play. I don't believe no, the second Rift Herald will not spawn before the dragon, so we're not going to have any shenanigans of someone giving the dragon for the second Rift Herald and then like taking an inhibitor tower or something crazy like that, you know. But second Rift Herald will eventually be spawning, I think, about a minute after the second or third even dragon on the map. Meanwhile, I don't think HTK is going to join us for any team fights here anytime soon. When you're building first and Hullbreaker, you are saying, I am not playing for team fights. I will be taking this inner tower. I will be trying to take this inhibitor tower. I don't know how successful that will eventually be, but I absolutely think if you leave HTK alone for very long on the side lane, Binoma or somebody has to match him, or this inner tower is going to be falling very quickly.
I feel it has to be Mignona. I don't expect to see the rise, because I feel like any other champion can get run down by the Yuri. Cool, top lane play maybe.
Binioma almost walking into HDK there in the bush. Luckily, he did take a very safe pathing. You see Enchanter Coaster Arrow coming in on the top side there as well. That is a very short cooldown. I think it'll be back up right when the dragon is spawning, but Coach Ju with the Realm Warp onto him on the bot side. Luckily, Kyle Good is there to make sure that he is able to walk away safely, but walk away with burning your flash and heal. Not exactly the most ideal situation to be in right before the dragon is about to spawn. Both top laners do have their TP available just in case they want to come join for this dragon fight here in about 20 seconds. Both teams absolutely need to take this fight. Currently, it is all vision control into the favor of CB Diamond. Jalingo, he's trying to find an engage here, but they are rooted up. They're stunned up. He finds one soul member on Kyle Good, and now the backside Coach Ju is just absolutely one shot. Huge kick coming out from Kyle Good, but Little Chovy, last member left in the river. He's exhausted. Nowhere left to run. That's a double kill for Earl King. Meanwhile, the top side HTK, he's left all alone. Viniuma, he left him alone. All of a sudden, he's on your inhibitor tower. He's taking that one away from you, but it's the second dragon for WLS.
Yeah, and great plays all around the map. I really like the decision from the HTK, first of all, to just focus on the turrets and get the gold value. Now, focusing on the team fight that we just saw, quite nicely, I think, played for both teams, in my opinion. I think CB Diamond had really nice control. They tried to go for the pick. They didn't get the pick quite as effectively. And I think two really important things to take in mind when that fight happened. Both summoners being down for the Ashe was so crucial for the fight. Like, if the Ashe had both summoners, she could have repositioned better, and the fight maybe looks quite different. And then the second one is the Ashe Arrow as well, being down. She tried to force it on the play on the top lane instead of saving it for the play in the fight. And that meant that they didn't have an extra stun to play around with, which I think would have been great for the Yari, because that way she can kind of play around her chamber a little bit better and save it for an even better potential just kill all around. And we see the lack of damage going through in that fight. The Ashe opted into Kraken Slayer to try and cover up for that lack of damage, but if she's out of position, she's not going to get the damage. And we see how the fight turns around when she simply doesn't have that position effective.
Man, HTK,
he's
just vibing right now on these side lanes. But yeah,
by the way,
that was a classic case from WLS of winning the team fight before it even begins. It was basically perfect setup from them. The only thing that they were lacking was vision, but the fact that they had burned absolutely everything from Coach Ju before it even started. And I'll hold that thought here for a second as we got 3 people collapsing onto HTK down here on the bot side. I think he knows he's dead. He absolutely will give us life for him, but meanwhile here in the mid lane, Kyle Good is also going to be falling. They were trying to take this mid lane tower at the same time, but unfortunately did not quite do enough damage to it before they started to fall. It's another double kill coming out for Jalingo now, and Condrix and Little Chovy coming in a little late to this team fight. Little Chovy with that last charge of the Spear Rush is able to land a charm onto Binomia, but unfortunately no follow-up damage, and 2 towers picked up there by CB Diamond, but giving 3 members over it as well as potentially this mid lane tower.
Yeah, that was such a nice turn of events for WLS, collapsing on HTK that was alone, pushing onto the bot lane because he saw the turret and wanted to go for the kill. Ooh.
Oh, little Chovy could be
Nice
caught out here.
charm.
He's trying to hold all 5 members here on
I
his
think
own.
he's
He
dead,
will
yeah.
be rooted up under his tower and will eventually fall. That's an excellent hook. Landed on a Bianoma, and Kyle
Oh.
Good diving out of the backline, able to secure his 2nd kill of the game. Now going in onto
Oh,
Final
nice.
Ninja as well. Now we finally got a double kill for CB Diamond here. Kyle Good with the flank over this wall. Unfortunately, does not
Soulbert.
have the kick available, but so much damage. HTK flashing forward as well, able to secure his 1st kill of the game. Realm Warp will take the rest of WLS out of the fight, and in the end, that was, I believe, a 3 for 5 if we count the first fight as well in
Yeah.
favor of WLS.
Yeah, in general, it was a 3-4-5. At the end, overcommitment once again from one of the teams, WLS, trying to go way too far forward than you actually need to, ends up turning into punishment by CB Diamond. But all in all, when you look at the overall context of the game and how this game should be going, having a 1,000 goal lead in the favor of WLS, it's way, way more important than just giving away those 2 missed kills, those 3 missed kills, in all honesty.
Yes.
Because at this point of the game, if CB Diamond doesn't have at least a 5,000 gold lead, they need to be really worried. Like, they are banking on having a lead before 30 minutes, because after that point, it becomes way, way harder for them to fight the game, to try and fight against the competition from WLS. And then you're kind of just depending on HTK split pushing his way to victory.
Yeah, I think this game could absolutely come down to a 50-minute base race. I'm feeling it out right now at 20 minutes. I think that I'm smelling the base race here in half an hour for us, TDS. But yeah, CB Diamond, they're on a huge timer right now. They had to get ahead. Even or behind in this early game is absolutely not where you wanted to be. You get so hard outscaled by both the Rise and the Sema, and even Jace a little bit, right? We haven't gotten to talk a whole lot about this top side. Poor Biniomi, he was dove so much, so he just got set so far behind. But that is a very common story for Jace. You come out of lane 0-3-0, and then you start picking up some solo kills in the side lanes. Of course, you will eventually scale up here. Jalingo diving once again onto Coach Ju.
Yep.
He tried to flash away, but unfortunately couldn't flash over the wall, and Soulbert now on the board with his 1st kill of the game.
Yeah, and I think you have to flash towards your turret. At that point, you cannot flash onto the side. But once again, great pick by the side of WLS. They are reading what they need to do better and understanding how they can just all around get much more value. Nice ulti.
Okay, very nice spirit rush there from little Chovy.
But that means a free dragon. I think that's a free dragon, essentially.
Oh, no. Going back over the wall here, but that is all 3 charges from the Spirit Rush. Burned. Now Baron started up by CB Diamond. That could absolutely ace them if they found out about that Baron, but it did stall some time for the Dragon. You see nobody is actually currently on the Dragon. Bianoma is actually the first one to start that one up for WLS. They are now 3-1 on Dragon's Mountain Soul Point in their pocket. CB Diamond, once again, you have a timer now. 5 minutes. You have to make something happen before then, and then you're dropping down to Mountain Soul.
Yeah, and I think they have to try and force with the Yorick. Like, they have to play away from the Yorick, first of all, but importantly, they have to give a lot of vision for the Yorick to try and just allow for him to get the split pushing value. Because he can actually finish the game by himself. In all honesty, he can 100% do that. But the problem is that he's never getting a chance to do it by himself. The last time that we have seen Yorick in the side lane, there's either someone already responding, or there's 3 members collapsing onto a way too far forward Yorick that just gets killed. So I feel like you need to play around this Yorick a little bit better, because he is, I feel like 100% at this point, your main win condition and your main hope to try and turn around this game.
Yeah, absolutely. If team fighting is not going to work, if you are this far behind in gold, 2,000 isn't a whole lot in terms of numbers, but in terms of team comps, 2,000 is a whole lot for WLS. At this point, 5v5s, even 4v4s are just not going to be going in favor of CB Diamond in terms of just the amount of gold that they're lacking in their pockets. So you got to play for picks. You got to play for split push. Absolutely, HDK. He is split pushed to victory so far. Inhibitor on the top side is still exposed. You still have the local gold available for him to collect on the bot side, inner turret as well.
Whoa.
That's an excellent hook landing onto Jalingo, and that could be the pick that CB Diamond absolutely need, but landing everything on the horse when he can still run away. Final Ninja can't run away as fast as the horse. Bianoma TPing in, does a little bit of poke damage over the wall, but unfortunately is not going to be able to land any CC to secure any kills, and that is one pick for CB Diamond, but so much was burned for that, and little Chovy almost going down to the poke as well.
Yeah, that was such a close charm. The poke turning around quite effectively, but they get a pick. That's the first pick that they get. I think game with the Ash Arrow. So great start. It can mean quite a bit, and they also got the turret down in bot lane, which I think overall just adds to the value out of that play.
Yes, absolutely. The little bit of extra, of course, local gold for HTK. Let's check how much gold he is in. Oh boy, 2,000 now
Yep.
ahead of Binioma. I do believe that is. Yeah, so Jinlingo not as far ahead as I thought he was. Only 300 despite having the 400 and 400 bounty and deathless KDA. Of course, it is 2,000 for Earl King. He's got a 700 shutdown on his head. He could have a 10 stack Magi's right now if he wanted to. Maybe he'll pick up a Dark Steel here later into this game. But with the most meta tank build on the rise right now, most likely not. He is going to be very unkillable in this late game.
Yeah, he does seem to be trying to up into some AP. Oh wait, the Ash Arrow
Change
again.
Booster Arrow does find its target on the Final Ninja, but with that shield, he really doesn't take a whole lot of damage.
Oh,
Both with the hook following up right after
oh, the
Jalingo
ulti.
diving on the backline, 3-member Fear. But Soulbert not doing a whole lot of damage here quite yet. Only
Yeah.
2 items for the Senna. If they had Earl King or Binioma right there, that could have been like a 3 or 4 more kills in the favor of WLS.
Yeah, that could have been so good, especially with the onslaught of shadows. It actually hit a lot of members. Oh,
Oh
that
my
into.
gosh. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Poor
what?
Coach Chu. He walked up for the wave and almost just got one shot, man. He's just trying to play some League of Legends. Calm down.
That is about the lethality Senna. That right there is about the lethality Senna. Almost getting the kill onto Coach Chu. Sadly, doesn't get it, but luckily for Coach Chu, he's able to survive. Heal was blown by the Ash, but you also get the cleanse out of the Senna, which means that any out of position that she gets in the future means that she's potentially dead. The Ari deals a lot of damage to her as well, so she needs to be even more careful.
Look at the item that Coach Chu just bought. He bought a stopwatch, man. I'm gonna assume that that's
Yep,
gonna
makes
eventually
sense.
go into a Guardian Angel, but
Or
it's just
Aston,
so
yes.
sad after seeing how many times he's been forced to burn both summoner spells and then still get picked off. That's just the unfortunate life of an AD carry. You either kill them and you die, or you don't kill them and you don't die. That's just sometimes how it has to work. We
Or
got
you don't
30
kill them
seconds
and you die.
remaining before the Mountain Soul is on the map here for WLS. CB Diamond, you gotta make something happen. Coach Chu still only has Flash. Heal is still on cooldown.
Yeah, we may also get an instance where they trade Baron for Drake instead of just forcing the Drake because realistically, WLS doesn't need this Dragon. They like it, but
Yeah,
they don't need it to actually play around it. And it seems like that may be a play. Look at the two members already going for Baron buff.
the Baron will be traded and potentially not
Oh,
even. They're just going to be
Vignona.
going straight onto HTK up here on the top side. 5 manning the Yorick in exchange for what could have been their Mountain Soul. HTK does have level 16 and is very tanky. 3,000 HP on this Yorick. He's flashing
Oh,
forward. He's
Vignona.
trying to make this a 1-for-1. Poor Binioma is forced to flash away here as well. They are
Okay, he's
still
dead
trying
now.
to kill him and it takes them so long with 5 members on top of him. A 200 gold shutdown will be gifted over to Soulbert, but they lost the dragon. They only got 1 shutdown and not even that big of one. And Baron is still up on the table. Realm Warp for 4 members. I think
I think
with
they
that
will push
pick,
it,
they
yeah.
can absolutely just turn it into a Baron.
Yeah, the kill does mean that they can look for the Baron buff first. The problem is that if they get picked up, there's a chance that they may just lose this, or even just low enough. Like, teleport is up for HTK, 27 seconds. Now teleport for Vignona. This is so risky.
TP for Binioma here into the Baron. 5v4. Kyle Good does have vision of the Baron. This is not a blind steal, and he absolutely can
Yeah.
go for it. Bolt's gonna jump it
Oh!
over the wall at the same time.
Dream.
Kick onto Jalingo over the wall, but it's still 2 HP. He
Oh, he
smites
didn't
too
get it.
early for the HP, and he will fall. Little
No.
Chovy force flash over the wall now as well. Baron is secured. 5 members strong for WLS. They're continuing down the base. Coach Juicin real low on HP. Little Chovy flashless, ultless. Binioma almost one-shots Coach Ju from across the screen, and now you got 5 purple Barons on the map for WLS.
That was a gigantic misplay by both Kyle God and Lil Chovy. And the reason for this is that Lil Chovy enters the pit perfectly with an ultimate, gets the charm onto the Hecarim. If you just focus him down as the Lee Sin before kicking him out, you get the kill. There's no chance for the Hecarim to be able to revive that long. But the Lee Sin and the Ari are on two different pages, and I feel like this has to exemplify the impact out of the substitutes.
Yes.
Happens when you are not playing with your consistent players. If you know what your player wants to do, then you just commit as a team to that. But Little Chovy and Kyle God were clearly on another page. One pushing out the jungler, the other wanting to destroy him before he gets any value. And if that play works out better, it's potentially better for
Oh
City Diamond.
gosh.
Oh
Oh my
wow,
gosh. Where did Binyoma go? He just got
he
one
was there.
shot. That's a
Yeah, he was
55-second
there.
death timer now for WLS's top laner. 4v5 here in the mid lane. HTK absolutely not going to be joining, so it is
Oh,
actually
look.
4v4. Earl King hooked under the tower. Does absolutely no damage to him, by the way. This is the tank build
Yep.
for Rise. You think
I
you
wouldn't
can do
even say
damage to
tank
him, you
build.
think he's this very squishy maze, and in reality, it's very hard to kill him. HTK split pushing to win up there on the
Oh,
top side.
Joe.
Can he pick up an inhibitor before the rest of WLS are able to respawn or recall?
Probably not, since they do have Baron. Okay, he
Nope.
actually will get it, but I'm not sure if he gets Colas because they do have. Oh wait, no, they don't have Rise Ultimate. I don't know what they used it for,
They used it to
but
get away.
really, wow, I'm kind of surprised at that because that means that it's not they do, like we see they don't get the Yorick in the top lane. Yorick gets a free inhibitor, and they don't lose a mid inhibitor turret, which
Yeah.
means that all in all, full value for CV Diamond. This Baron buff has not accomplished anything at all.
Nothing at all. I think they might have gone that inner tower in the mid lane.
Oh
I'm
no.
maybe. I'm not even sure. And they can't even kill the maiden. The maiden's just still sitting here
This looks
vibing.
so
Like
sad.
the maiden might
If I'm
actually
honest.
live so long that it'll reveal HDK's position if they keep following it. But nope. Okay.
Not
If they
even that.
kept following it, they would have found HDK there eventually. That could have been funny, but instead they will try and take this final outer tower now. So this will be all 6 outer towers falling on the map. Jungle's now fully exposed. CB Diamond, they've just constantly been clearing Jalingo's jungle. He has not been allowed to clear
Yep.
his jungle whatsoever for the past about 10 minutes.
Oh, finally,
Little
revenge.
Chovy, he got deleted, and that is yet another 50-second death timer for one of these solo laners.
Yeah, and finally revenge for Beniona. He gets a solo kill after getting killed consistently by HTK. Finally getting revenge. And this is still a play that the side of City Diamond can try and look forward to. That is a lot of damage
Ooh.
that HTK is doing to Erking. And this is because Erking does have a little bit of tankiness, but he didn't opt into full tank. He opted into just the Fimble Winter into then 3 AP items actually. So he does have a lot of health, but not necessarily a lot of tankiness thanks to that.
We have a 4-1 going on right now from WLS. Binyoma being sent down to their bot side. Local gold will be split between these 4 members for WLS. Realm Warp just to ensure that they are not going to be losing this next dragon. It is still a Mountain Soul for them. In theory, they can give it up, but at this point, there's not really anything to really give it up for.
Yeah.
There's not a Baron, there's not an exposed inhibitor or anything like that. So absolutely, this should be, in theory, a free soul for WLS. Now, I am very terrified to say that 15 HP on the Baron, and that is going to be secured by
Well,
Jilligo. Kyle
Joe
Goody
is there.
flashed over the wall. He went for the steal. Coach Ju left in the river all on his own. He'll be picked up. He's very dead. Soulbert picking up his 3rd kill of the game. Kyle Goody flashed in. He wanted the smite steal. Unfortunately, just not quite quick enough. He did luckily make it out with his life. Now 4v5 Soul on their backs is the word I'm looking for. Can WLS close out this game?
Yeah, I feel like they should be able to. They have the soul, they have the minions coming in mid. The problem is the threat that the Jorik is putting on top lane is quite impactful. As you can see, everyone is backing away because they don't want to be stopped and allow for the Jorik to get even more value. Oh, he failed.
Oh no!
You had one job, Condor. Please.
It's okay. It's okay, Condor. I didn't see it. Did you see it, TDS? I didn't see it.
I'm not gonna talk about that anymore.
TP being used now on the
Condor.
bot side for HTK. He smells an inhibitor. He smells objective bounties now on the map for CB Diamond. Imagine how much gold he could pick up for himself if he is able to start securing these inhibitor turrets. He's got one still down on the top side. So his next objective here will be the bot side, but with these Mountain Soul
Working.
champions that he has to fight from WLS, it will be very
He's
hard
dead.
to
It's
kill
okay, he's
any
dead.
of them. He does quite a bit of poke damage there to Earl King, but in a 3v5,
Yeah.
I don't know if the flash was very necessary there, Earl King, but you can absolutely kill him in a 1v5. Realm Warp with 5 members to the mid lane there as well, but the Baron is started up by CB Diamond, and
No,
nope,
they
they're
can.
gonna pull off. All right.
They couldn't because the Baron spawned just as the members
Ah.
of the WLS were on the mid lane. Yeah, HDK's play is smart, but it was badly executed because you have to pull that up when the Baron is actually up, not before it spawns. Like if you go down there when the Baron is up, then they have to focus on you instead of going for the Baron. Then it's a smart play.
Oh, geez.
Here,
4K
it's not that
HP.
worth.
Kyle Good does not
Yeah.
have vision on the Baron. He's looking for the steal over the
Oh,
wall.
he
He's
got
able
it.
to get the
Oh,
steal. Kyle
oh.
Good with the Baron steal. Unfortunately, he will fall for it as well.
Coach
Coach
Ju.
Ju doing a whole lot of damage right there to Jalingo. Meanwhile, look at your
Jalingo?
base. You lost your top inhibitor here once again. Coach Ju buying so much time with these recalls being almost flashed over the wall to secure that kill. Condurex keeping Soulbert locked into the Baron
Yeah,
pit
going
with
to the
him. That
Baron
top
anyway.
lane inhibitor did just respawn. You have 2 Barons now for CB Diamond. Can that close this gold lead even just slightly in their favor?
They lose the Baron buffs. I think Coach Ju utilizing that Ash arrow quite badly. If he hits the Hickory, then she gets a kill and then he can back. But really badly used. The Baron buff is lost. They lose, I think, 3 Baron buffs because the only one that has it is the Chovy. And the worst part is that the Yorick doesn't even get Baron buff either, which means
Yeah.
that your split pushing potential is not that high either. And now looking for the mid lane turret, for the mid lane inhibitor, and even potentially for game, there's 5 against 2. Oh,
5 against 2, and one of them is about to fall. Now you got no Baron members for CB Diamond
Yep.
here. About to be having no mid inhibitors here as well. 5v4, here it is. Yet another 50-second death timer for one of the solo lanes on the map. I think this could be the end of the game. You don't need Baron, but you have the Mountain Soul still available. So much poke damage, and Kalga going in
Oh,
with the
what a great
5-man kick onto the back line.
But it
Do
doesn't
they have
matter.
enough damage to turn this fight back
don't
around?
think
Earl
so.
King, he's just sitting there taking auto attacks from
Yeah.
both the Ashe and the tower, still only sitting at half HP. That is the tank rise. That is 3 more kills in the pockets of WLS, and that is most likely the end of this game 1 of a very exciting best of 3 here tonight.
Yeah, really nice game by the side of WLS. Massive kick out of Kyle Good. But if you had a Jinx, I can see that working out better.
Please.
No, he's fine. It's fine. He survived. That's what matters. That's what matters. Yeah, that's what matters. It's okay. Still, great game by WLS, executing their composition how they needed to. In comparison, CP Diamond, we talked about aggression, how they needed to play, and they never really found their footing onto that aggression. I think that the most decisive fight of the game, that dragon fight that we had for the 3rd dragon, if I'm not wrong, where
Yes.
Yuri got 2 turrets in top lane and almost an inhibitor, but the Ashe was immediately destroyed. She wasn't alive by the point where the Yorick took the turrets, and the rest of the members just fell like pieces in the chest. So it was such an easy kill win by WLS, and after that it just snowballed out of control for WLS. CB Diamond never was in control of the game correctly, and Yorick, their last hope, never find the chance to actually pressure for the inhibitor for the game for the win into the next turrets.
Yes, it was kind of how I talked about it during
Yep.
the game, right? That 3rd dragon was what just set the whole rest of the game. That is what
Yep.
completely opened the entire map up for WLS. Yes, there were throws in between that point and the game ending, but absolutely that was the first and real turning point. Because before then, it was completely even. It was anybody's game. It was
Yep.
that team fight right there. CB Diamond, they got an inhibitor for it, but unfortunately it just was not going to be enough for how much they lost.
True. It looked quite hard after that point, and I feel like if maybe they were able to get a little bit more picks out of the Ash Arrow, but I feel like in the overall game we just saw 1 pick out of the Ash Arrow. Like I don't remember any other apart from that one that we got in the Reaver from the Braum. So like without even using that ability effectively, you kind of lose quite a lot of effectiveness out of the Ash, and then it just became harder and harder to even pull off. Like not even the Baron buff steal was enough to save C Diamond after some points.
Now, this is when we would usually go to break here, TDS, but
True.
I have prepared a very special video montage. This has been
Okay.
talked about a whole lot in the BOL server if you have been keeping up in the banter chat. One of my favorite pastimes now, apparently, is to 1v1 the CB Diamond manager, Marquez. Now, I have prepared a montage of some of these 1v1s. We will see how this plays out here now. So we will catch you back here in game 2 draft here, hopefully at the conclusion of this video. So don't go anywhere. You've got a video to watch, and you've got a game 2 of this best of 3 to watch after it as well.
Alright, okay, listen, I'm sorry. I apologize. My bad.
You're so lucky. I'm like actually the worst panther you've ever seen in your life.
Cool. Okay, wait, actually, you kill me here. I'm just saying, better player 1, you know? Alright. Just like, week 8, game 3, okay?
Yeah.
I watched enough, Mario's top lane. Shout out to VB for their Soraka top lane. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna win this one. When I win, you know, you lost to somebody who put W in a solo 1v1. That's what I'm saying. Sorry, my bad. I'm talking to Mr. Excel. We got some cool new events, you know. Once we win BOL, obviously. I think finals is gonna be 3-0.
For Lotus, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. You know,
dude, you guys aren't even gonna make finals. Don't even.
Listen. You see my ADC? You know who he is? Timeless. You see my health bar? Not moving either. Just like my ADC in lane, because he's just the best, alright? Look, I'm just saying, better player hits those. Yeah?
Yeah, better player. Come here. Ah, you're so lucky I can't, like,
see, you're the best.
use my mouse correctly. You're so lucky. I suck at this game, dude. It's actually crazy.
You need to relax. You need to relax. I mean, last I checked, I'm under the CB brand, and CB wins everything, you know? So it's just kind of hard.
I seem to remember you guys losing, like, last week, maybe? That's kind of crazy. I guess they weren't, like, part of the CB roster?
Was it a different team or us? We won last week.
No, I don't think you did. I think you lost 1-2.
I don't remember. Can you remind me who it was? No, I was asleep. You know, I just woke up from, like, a 10-year nap, you know?
Damn. That's probably why you're not going to make playoffs.
You know we're qualified already, right?
Yeah, I control that.
Really? There's literally no Earth. We're second and we're not qualified. I refuse to believe that.
Oh, a better player hits that, by the way.
Okay, you're right, actually. Okay, well, a better player would have grabbed the water element. You're actually right about that. Listen, I'm just building false confidence, and you're gonna see me do Kiana combos. Just wait. Okay? Yeah, I got you. I'm right here.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm leaving. Don't mind me.
What the?
Had something in my throat. You know, I pressed the R button.
Oh my gosh. Can we, like, go next or what? Like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you just leave now. You know, it's fun. I play against Kianas and they hit me like halfway across the map. I'm right next to you in this. I don't know.
Better player gap. I don't know. Unlucky.
See, if I was under Lotus, this wouldn't have happened. That's what it is.
Oh, this is true.
No, I would have lost the game already. That's just it, obviously.
Damn, that's kind of crazy considering they're gonna beat you in like a week.
We'll see. Don't worry. We're using a sub this week for ADC. For the We Love Soulbert.
Is it gonna be you?
Yeah. Don't worry. They'll never see it coming, okay? I won't see it coming either. I'll be honest, but you know. I'm just saying, you're dead here, by the way.
Am I?
Like, I have foresight, actually, and I saw into the future. See a gray screen for you. Okay?
Okay. I'm waiting.
Alright, I'll see you later, okay? I lied. Goodbye.
oh my gosh, this is so stupid, man. Like, you literally sat there, AFK, did nothing. You did nothing.
Listen, you know, I'm gonna be nice. I'm just saying you are streaming me winning, you know, repeatedly, kind of like the CB Diamond team. But you know, they're close contests. They could have gone either way. Um, it's fine. Although the best players always win, which does happen to be me. So
That's kind of crazy considering you sat AFK in a bush and I had quadruple your CS. That's kind of crazy, actually.
okay, you know. Oh, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I kind of disagree with this. So
Okay, have
I'll
fun.
walk away. Yeah, you take care. Okay. See you later.
Okay, I understand now. Oh, wait. Okay, I understand now.
Oh, I didn't even get my. Did that hit you? Or...
They've all hit me. I just pressed my E.
Oh my god. This is literally cyberbullying. This is bullshit. What are you fucking tired of, man? Come on.
I'm the coward who can't see us.
Oh. Oh. Fuck. Alright. You got it. I'm absolutely livid. I am.
I think if I lose this, I should just quit, like, League of Legends.
You know you're playing against the best Yumi player in the world, okay? So,
that's
there's no
an
shame in losing.
embarrassing thing to admit. I'm sorry to hear that.
Listen, there's no shame in losing to the best. Here we go. You're gonna see the secret tech. So secret, it's never been seen before. Zoning Yumi?
Oh, that was close. That was close. That was close.
I canceled that one. I may have choked a little bit there.
Nah, if you walked up another.
Okay, that was a fair amount of damage, I think.
Dude,
Don't be afraid. Week 8, you know, shout out the winning team, or week 7, when we lift the trophy for first place. Okay.
yeah, I'll shout out Lotus for you.
All right, take care. Okay.
Alrighty, that was a video. Yes, that is. Oh goodness, I can hear myself. All right, thank you,
Great.
Marquez, for our wonderful 1v1s. I might or might not have lost to a lethal tempo Yumi, but that is our official
Might.
announcement for our Blue Otter League 1v1 tournament. Will be taking place next weekend, April 9th. Is open to anyone. You don't have to be a BOL player. You could be any rank as well. It is going to be the format was right there, so hopefully you got a screenshot or something. I'll be making an announcement and signups for that later tonight, but hopefully you enjoyed the short little fun montage we had. I will not be playing, as you might be able to tell. I am not the greatest 1v1er you've ever seen in your life, but hopefully we will have some fun casts for it. Now, back to our Diamond Best of 3 here series tonight. Currently, WLS is up 1-0. I want to take a second to look at some of the other series that we are having going on tonight. Acclivity versus Lotus. Acclivity took game 1. Lotus took game 2. They are now about to start their game 3. VBU versus Gothboy Click. VBU took that series 2-0. Very dominating fashion. They dropped, I believe, less than 10 kills in both games. currently ISU versus MSU. The series going on BOL Stream 1 are only on their game 2, similar to us. MSU was the one taking their game 1. So we have a very exciting night here. Lots of upsets that we don't get to
Yep.
see very often, TDS. So we are about to start game 2 draft for us.
Yeah, I feel like the most interesting one, Acclivity being one-on-one with Lotus. Like,
Yes.
if that ends up going the way of Acclivity, Lotus would fall into second place, or would give opportunity for CB Diamond or even Soulbert, Will of Soulbert, to get a potential hold of that first place. So that is something to keep our eyes on. Now we have the game starting. Now we need to see changes from CB Diamond. We need to see consistency from Will of Soulbert, since they played really nicely that first game. So they need to keep that play into the second game and make it work out. But already looking at the bans, Karma was the same as in the first game. The Akali, I think, a difference from the first game, because I think that we didn't see an Akali ban, if I'm not wrong.
Now, I don't know if this is a different player
Ooh.
for CB Diamond here, but we have now subbed out, at least in the lobby. Coach
Ooh.
Ju is no longer playing. We now have Kuristov. That's what I'm gonna have to ask for pronunciation on, but I'm gonna call him, Kuristov is what I'm gonna go with here for now. So this is a brand new player for me. I guess it's not an eSub because they have their bans back. It does look like, so this is a roster substitute, or it's Coach Ju on a different account.
I don't think it's an ESOP, so yeah. But interesting that we're getting one at this point in the second game. Maybe it's going to work out better than it was with Coach Ju, especially because now you do get a player that maybe is feeling more accustomed with the team. But I don't think we have seen it previously, so this is going to be an interesting kind of matchup to see how does he perform. Now looking just keeping up with the bans, it's Rise that we see in that we saw in the first game, how impactful it was for WLS, particularly with the roam warps. I think that trying to be proactive with that ultimate, trying to move around the map, trying to make use of it with the team, I quite like it. So it makes sense that we're seeing it find a way. And the Trundle now to add to just the jungle pool that was still open, but you can take away. Higram as well, taking away. The Will of Sober knows the power of that champion. They don't want to give that champion away at any cost.
Yes, that Hecarim was the B1 for WLS last game when CB Diamond were using the eSub, so they were down 2 bans. I did just check, so our new friend, our 80 carry friend for CB Diamond is a rostered substitute here. They have not played any games so far with the CB Diamond roster, unless they played last season, but I don't believe they did, because I know for a fact that Coach Ju absolutely did. And once again in this draft, 80 carries were banned. CB Diamond B1, they get the pick of the litter. What do they want? Zeri, number 1 choice for them. I think one of their most picked champions. Yes, they have 5 games on Zeri, one of their highest picked champions as a team. So very strong cover pick and very strong meta pick for them as well.
Yeah, it's typically Siri or Jinx when you think about the 80 carry role that you tend to opt into. Now, the Ashe is an answer. I think that it has to do with the slow to try and keep Siri in place, especially as well with the ultimate. So just trying to add to that potential. I think, like, Nasus support has been talked about quite recently. We have seen it. I would love to see if Nasus support ends up happening with Ashe, because that would be the most
support. It's
tilting
a
experience as a Seri. Like, if Ashe with Nasus just permanently slowed down in the bot lane would not be fun to play as. But I don't think we're going to get the Nasus support yet. Nautilus, it's going to be the safer option. It's the more consistent support that people play around. And if not Leona, he's the one that gets picked up as well. So I don't dislike this bot lane, but we did see in the previous game how little impact it actually had in the overall context of the game. So I hope that we get from WLS a little bit more action out of this bot lane duo.
I still think Ashe Nautilus is a very high damage bot lane and very high CC on top of that bot lane in the early game. Levels 2 through 6, really. They just have so much kill threat over almost every single other bot lane here. Support lock in most likely for
Leona.
B2 here. That will be that Leona. I guess sort of counterpicked the Nautilus, right? I mean, that is typically the engaged support that supports do tend to pick if it is a Nautilus. Shen being hovered as well, of course, that makes up for the typically Enchanter that you like to see paired up with Zeri instead. The shielding from Shen, I I can't talk about hovers. I forgot like the number one rule of casting a
True.
draft. You can't talk about hovers. Viego locked in, most likely that jungler pick for Calgon.
Yeah, and immediately answered with Graves. I
Mm-hmm.
like the Graves pick because one thing that you lack with the Ashe is then more damage later on in the game. Like she can deal damage quite well in the early and mid game. I don't think that she loses, that she's not a damage leader later on, but it's not comparable to that of the Seri, the Jinx, the more hyper carry oriented kind of carry. So having that Graves to add that extra bit of damage or that more focus burst damage that he gets, I think it's going to be quite well, especially because if you get the pick with the Ashe, you get someone to kill that person immediately with the Graves. And I'm quite a fan of that. Now, Ari getting banned away, we saw, I feel like, even though it wasn't quite showy, I think the Ari performed quite well in the previous
Yeah.
game. I think that Baron buff, the first Baron buff, could have been saved by the Ari and the Lee Sin if they played that better. So I think that the Ari is such a good champion to ban away, and it's a champion that I feel like CV Diamond can play around with quite well.
Yeah, I think Little Chovy piloted the Ari last game just very well, honestly. I think it did show
Yeah.
absolutely it was a very solid comfort pick for him that he'll absolutely be able to pull out in series later on, maybe game 3 of this series if there does just so happen to be one. Both of these teams currently very heavy in AD damage, so it is not that
True.
surprising to see 2 AP bans from WLS. Rise was banned in the first half of the banning phase as well, but one champion that has not been banned so far, TDS, is Victor. I'm
Yeah.
expecting a Victor pick or a Victor ban here from CB Diamond. Could very easily be a blind R4 Victor
I
angle
hope it
here for
is.
WLS.
I actually hope it is. Like, if you don't ban it away, Victor right now could work quite well with WLS, and they
Mm-hmm.
take it away. I really think this is the smart option. Now, from WLS's side, you may think about potentially Corki. Corki is still a champion that you can opt into. He does still deal
Yes.
quite a lot of magic
Victor
damage,
was
which is
banned.
something that you're failing, and Victor is banned.
Ooh.
I love the Veigar though more
Okay.
because you get the big potential value with the Ashen Nautilus added onto that with Veigar, but you also have a lot of burst damage, and his damage later on the game is something that a few champions can match up with, especially if he can farm effectively. So I'm really a fan of the Veigar, and mid game is not like he's going to fall off quite well. Now we're missing just the jungle and the top laner, and I think this may be a Graves jungle if I'm honest. I think this is going to be a
Oh.
jungler for the side of WLS, and I think we're going to get another top laner counterpick here. Ooh.
I was thinking it was a Graves top actually. I so rarely see Graves jungle nowadays,
It's
but
rare, yeah.
I do agree. I think Graves jungle would actually not be that bad of a pairing with a Vigar mid lane. So maybe with that Vigar luck does kind of hint to it more towards being a Graves jungle. CB Diamond, they also think it's a Graves jungle. That's why they banned away that GP as well. Fiora will be the maybe blind, maybe not blind pick for the top laner here on CB Diamond. And okay, Syndra, another champion we don't get to see a whole lot in the mid
Ooh.
lane here. Very high skill ceiling champion. It's a very fun one to watch. You can definitely tell players that can and can't play these types of champions. Little Chovy with the Ari piloting last game. I absolutely think he'll be an excellent Syndra player here. Tanks being hovered, top laners being hovered. So this is most likely a Graves jungle.
Damn it. Okay,
Oh
yeah,
my
it's like
god.
Shan finally picked at
Okay.
the end. I was thinking I would be a fan of the tank top laner here, just because yes, you may lose the 1v1 against Yura,
Mhm.
but this is a dream for a tank. It's
It
Seri,
is.
Leona, Viego. Like yes, Syndra can deal magic damage, but
All AD
it, as a
except Syndra.
Sion, do you care? Like
Mhm.
full armor Sion in this game would have been so nice for WLS. You barely feel damage from the other champions, and maybe Fiora can destroy you thanks to their true damage, but in fights it's going to be unkillable, and I think that that's what WLS should have valued more. The action now, it's going to get much more power early on. He's going to control the waves a little bit better against the Fiora early on in the matchup, but he's going to be a threat of dying, I think, at around the level 6 mark or post 6, because Fiora gets the ultimate, which gives him mover speed, and then with the Piego, dives are even more plausible, especially against a champion that is so squishy. So the action needs to be really, really careful about how he plays, because he may just get destroyed before anything happens. And we love Soulbert. The rest of the map did quite well, but the top lane was an issue to a certain degree in the first game. So this game, they need to be careful about how they pilot towards the top lane.
Now, TDS, my favorite part of
Ooh.
drafts predictions. I would just like to remind
Oh
everyone
no.
of our series predictions coming into the evening here. Me and Gotharino, the only two people to have put WLS down before the series began. Now, we are one game into the series. WLS is 1-0 up in this series. TDS, how's your CP Diamond coming here?
I'm worried. I feel like they have this time around a composition that maybe they can use to pull off and turn around this game, but it's looking quite dire. And if the side of WLS can have a really nice early game, I feel I would be even more worried about the CB Diamond prediction. So it's looking rough, but there's still a chance.
Okay, still a chance. It would have to be. I don't like using the term reverse sweep in a best of three, but they would have to
True.
win this game 2 and game 3. They have their backs against the wall, of course. Once again, these teams do have playoffs locked completely, so it's not that huge of a deal if they do drop this
Yeah.
series, but they will most likely end up dropping their round 1 lock in or round 1 bye in playoffs, even if they do drop the series to WLS. And WLS could almost take that for themselves here. I want to show, as we are going into spectator delay here very shortly, the power rankings. Now, this one is a lot more controversial with the evening that we have had so far here at TDS.
Yep.
Lotus so far has dropped a game to Acclivity and won a game against Acclivity, and now looking at the power rankings, we can see why that is so surprising. Let's see, what was the other one that was, it was VBU
BBU.
2-0ing Gothboy
Yep.
as well. That one, definitely the most noticeable, I think, on my power rankings. I was really on the Gothboy fan club train right there. It went downhill so quick.
Yeah, like after they took CB Diamond, I was surprised that they then lost once again. So it's kind of roller coaster with them. The only one that believed in BBU seems like to be Mario, since he is the one that put them third. So credit to him. Well, he knew something that we didn't with his team. So there was value there. But yeah, BBU. I think that they are a team that are capable, but I just don't find the consistency from them that I think should put them above their fourth place, which is the reason why I have my rankings there and why I look kind of dumb right now.
Yes. Now, heading back into our game 2
Exactly.
here tonight. Predictions. TDS went first game 1. I'll go first here, game 2. Now, if I have learned anything from casting with the legendary man himself, Axeman87, Graves top is the worst top laner in the game until he goes 10-0. Now,
True.
WLS does not have the Graves top this game. They have the Graves jungle, so Axeman has not provided me with as much insight into this champion as I would have liked. Game 1 was very back and forth, but with the Vigar, with the super safe scaling comp that they have here once again, and the slightly more mixed damage, I think a Vigar Soul AP threat is a lot more threatening than
Yeah.
a Syndra Soul AP threat. So with those kinds of damage variety, I'm forgetting the word, the different types of
Mix.
damage that they have, right? I think I do want to give it over to a WLS. 2-0 for the night. TDS predictions. 2-0-1-1.
So, at risk of putting my prediction down because I want to be right, I think WLS has such a really nice composition to play around. The only thing that I'm worried about is their squishiness because it's Nautilus and then nobody else. And that's kind of the only worry that I have because Diego has execute, Fiora can run you down, Leona has enough CC to kill you, and Seri is Seri. So it's quite risky. Well,
Very Zeri.
and Syndra also can execute. So it's risky to play around this, but I do like WLS composition, and I think that they should be able to pull it off.
Yes, so we're once again both predicting WLS. So this could
Yep.
be a 2-0. We could be looking to a game 3 here at tonight TDS, but we will go to a very short break now as we head on through it for game 3. Or don't, it's still not game 3. I'm so excited for game 3. It's still in the game 2 here tonight, but
True.
don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. everyone, and welcome back onto Summoner's Rift for Game 2 of our best of 3 here tonight. CB Diamond currently down 0-1 in our penultimate week of the regular season. WLS, this was an unexpected, I mean, I expected it, but based on the standings, unexpected kind of turn of events here, and TDS, both you and I have predicted WLS to win this game too based off of their draft. Nothing super spicy here, level 1, but I think this early game could absolutely be more spicy than last.
Yeah, potentially. One thing that I'm kind of shying away from in terms of why the early game would be much more interesting is the fact that the junglers are not necessarily the heaviest of ganglers. Like Lee Sin compared to the Graves would love to try and impact the lanes much more, but Graves, Diego, Hikarim are junglers that want to farm to level 6. They get their power spikes with their first components. They can begin fighting much more effectively, and it just becomes better for them. So I don't expect a lot of action out of the junglers. But laning wise, I think the top lane is going to be really spicy because we have an ignite instead of a teleport, and the heaviest risk there. Oh wait, whoa.
Level 1 invade from WLS here. Nice hook landed onto Condorix on the Leona. That's a lot of damage, but losing vision with the Ignite taking down. Level 1 Ignite does not do a whole lot of damage, so he will be able to live. Mid laner's joining the fight a little bit late, so nothing will be burned too hugely there. Condorix with the Hex Flash, of course, so level 1 Flash is not awful, but did have to burn both of his pots. That is going to be a big hit in this laning phase.
Yeah, that is, I think, like you're pointing out, the much more important part. The fact that the pods were blown out means that it's going to be harder for the Leona to be a little bit more aggressive. Final Ninja needs to be careful here, but he's able to run away.
Oh, Jolingo got the red buff and chickens too. That's actually huge.
Yeah, they're able to take away from Kyle Good, and if the Graves can back quickly towards his red side, there's really a really hard chance for the Diego to be able to equal this. Oh, even looking for a maybe
Jolingo level 2 kick in the mid lane onto Little Chovy, forcing out that flash from him. Nice stun back onto Jolingo, but no summoners burned there from WLS, and now 2 out of 5 flashes taken before level 2 even pops for most members on CB Diamond.
Yeah, and such a nice early play by the side of WLS, utilizing like something that you pointed out in the draft. The earlier damage out of the Ashe is going to be a little bit more higher than that of the Seri. Like Seri does do good damage at some point, but it's not that point in the game where she deals that damage.
Oh, we got our level 3 gank coming in now from Kyle Good on the Viego to Earl King. Burned that baby cage maybe a little bit too early, but 1v1 up here on the top side. HTK with that Ignite taking down one more auto attack. It's getting the first blood for Binoma. Ignite top lane, range top lane will still manage to get the first blood.
Yeah, and honestly, almost a little bit riskier for Bignona because he actually out-attacked the minions, I think, twice instead of out-attacking the Fiora. So almost throwing away the kill, but getting the kill at the end, utilizing the Ignite. This is why you go for the Ignite, to get that solo kill. And now we may see a little bit even more pressure out of this action early on. Now, importantly, the Graves is doing so much all around the map, getting both red buffs, now getting the Scar Crab down there in the bot lane. With the wave in this position, we may potentially see a gank down here, although I think that the S should be able to push it off. But I feel like such a nice start by WLS. Not the highest of gold leads, but still having a gold lead so early on is quite nice for them.
Yeah, absolutely, and they are the more scaling team here as well. So we talked about a little bit last game, right? Is any gold lead in their favor is just exponentially multiplied, right? So 1,000 in their lead could just be the equivalent of 3 or even 4,000 because they're supposed to be behind early. This Vigar is not supposed to get ahead. Akshan even, he's not, I don't think he's supposed to be laying down. I could actually be wrong on that one, but I don't think Akshan is supposed to be laying down. He's supposed to be roaming. He's supposed to be getting kills for other members on his team, I am pretty sure here. So level 1 or first blood level 3 for him up there at the top that I would say is fairly surprising.
I think with the Ignite take and the fact that he's a range, I wouldn't say 100% surprising. I do think that later on we're going to see him abandon the lane a little bit more just because the Fiora will be able to begin opting into trying to solo kill the action. But this is, I think, at least in my opinion, not 100% surprising. Now, Diego coming top side. Beniona
Kyle
needs to be
Good
careful.
hovering in this bush here. Binyoma
Uh,
warding the wrong bush, so he will face check into Kyle Good, able to dash out of the stun zone with that E.
hook
Is
shot.
very safe on the top laner though. Jolingo ganking this mid lane. Baby Gage landed straight onto Little Chovy. And remember, he does not have flash. He's trying to do some fancy circles, fancy feet here in the mid lane, but you can't be running in circles forever. Earl King, superior Viger with superior circles. First kill on the board for him, and all of a sudden it's a 2-0 kill lead for WLS.
Yeah, if you go in circles long enough, you're just going to end up confusing yourself. And that feels like kind of happened to Lil Chovy, ended up paying the price for moving around so much. Dies. Great capitalization by Jalingo. Not something that we see so typical from the Graves to opt into ganking so much, but really nice gank, especially in a lane that doesn't have the flash. I think that you have to opt into that capitalization and does so quite well. Now, I want you to look into the minimap because Luke is coming down. It's just like you talked about. He's trying to opt into a play down here in the bot lane, and with the way that the lane is, I can see this happening quite well for them.
Binyoma
Do I think
without even TP, just with that invis coming down here in the bot lane, but he's still too late. Soulbert, he just gets popped. He had the flash, he had the
and the
cleanse, but
revive.
just died a little bit too early. They are able to trade it 180 carry for the other, now Binyoma 2-0 on the board. Kyle Good coming in a little bit late as well. Unfortunately, not able to save his own 80 carry. Meanwhile, up here on the top side, Jalingo pops level 6 here very early compared to Kyle Good, of course, because he got to soak up a very large wave of her.
Yeah, and that's a kind of play that you really cannot pull off with other kind of top laners or junglers even, because getting that much XP or that much CS doesn't really mean a lot for a lot of certain junglers. So Graves is one that can actually capitalize quite well with that kind of lead. And then the play that the action pulls off, like we were talking about, really nice timing. You gotta question a little bit how Soulbert was popped so immediately,
Yeah.
but it still works out for the side of WLS because he gets revived and you get the kill down there.
First dragon now picked up by CB Diamond, but this is not going to be very safe for them
That
to
was
do
such
so.
a
Kyle
long-
Good forced to flash over the wall, and the ultimate by Earl King, securing the kill on Conrix on top of it as well. Little Chovy still,
Little Chovy.
or does actually have flash now, coming in just a couple of seconds. One more second for the flash, and it's
Okay,
not
oof.
going to be here in time. Earl King, all of a sudden, 3 kills for the Viagar. Q flashing onto Soulbert down
Soulbert,
here
you
in the
need to
bot
flash.
lane. Soulbert flashing a little bit late. Final Ninja has a hook available, does not have that level 6 available though, and Q could absolutely be walking into this tower for the suicide.
Yeah,
1-for-1, unfortunately, not going to have quite enough range to turn it back onto Soulbert. They're trying to kill the kill over to Soulbert, but Jalingo will secure it for himself. First kill on the board for him, and now it is 1-6 kill lead for WLS.
They are getting ran down all over the map. Really nice play all around the map from the side of Will of Soulbert. Soulbert looked like he was going to die, but luckily flashes away when the timing is right and he's able to survive. Great capitalization once again by Jalingo to be at the right place at the right time. And this game is already spiraling really heavily in the favor of Will of Soulbert. Like, yes, Kira has had a free time in top lane, but it hasn't mattered. Like, 53 CS to 52 when Beniona has been able to get 2 kills and 2 assists is not what you want as a Fiora.
Binioma, he's been making plays all across the map. He got almost a double kill down here on the bot
bye-bye.
side, but this could be Q's double kill now for himself. Soulbert popping that cleanse of fortune. That could be early enough to be able to make it out alive. Final Ninja will fall immediately after, and Q now on the board with a double kill for himself, closing the gold lead ever so slightly. Unfortunately, there was not a bounty on either of the members that he killed, but still, 600 gold in your pocket will be a huge deal for Azeri.
Yeah, and really disrespect a lot of Soulbert and Final Ninja, especially after going for that play. They should know that they should be at least a little bit efficient because the minions were collapsing onto the graves when the play was happening. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't respect the potential vision out there and they just get killed immediately. But all in all, it's not the worst of situations. Oh,
Kyle
HDK.
Good starting up this
so
Rift
much
Herald
damage.
here. HDK almost falling
Ooh.
to the gank from
Oh,
Jalingo. Meanwhile,
Erking.
Erkling walking up the river, but walking straight into Conrix, and Little Chovy will be forced to flash. Baby Cage used a little bit too early there, and that very, very early Rift Herald just burning so many more summoner spells from CB Diamond. They are trying to find a way back into this game, and starting up a Rift Herald like that is one scary, scary way to do it. Kyle Good and Conrix trying to push their way back into this river here once again. This is a 4v4
Yeah,
on the
this is
top
covered.
side. Soulbert, the only
Is it?
member not here for the fight. Earl King almost falls, but still not going to be
Oh,
enough.
yeah,
That's a
Cheryl
chip for
hits.
Cheryl landing on a Q, but the cleanse will negate it completely. Shut down. Will
Oh,
fall
they're
300
doing
gold
something
off of
bad.
Earl King, but on the other side of the fight, being Yoma, last member alive for WLS. That's an almost ace. 4-for-1. Turn it back around for CB Diamond and take the Rift Herald on top of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that was one of the stupidest plays I've seen in my life. I have to call it out. I don't. We love Soulbert. You get the first look, it's great, but you see this. It's the series didn't appear out of magic, out of thin air. You know the series is there. Why are
Oh
you
my
opting into
gosh.
that fight? You had everything working out for you, and then you decided, no, we don't want that. We want to die and die. That like it just feels so random out of WLS. Going on the other side, great capitalization by CP Diamond, utilizing the advantage that they have on bot lane to move around the series so that you can get value all around. This Fiora was completely useless. She was about to die, but thanks to the fact that she has teleport, a summoner that you can use to come back to lane, magic, I know, and then be able to turn around the fight, works out so perfectly for CB Diamond. They even get the Herald, which means that any kind of advantage that was previously in the hands of WLS is completely meaningless at this point, because now it's an almost 600 gold
Yeah, it keeps changing.
advantage. Yeah, 600
Little
gold.
Chovy,
Okay.
no flash,
No
has
flash.
no ultimate either, and that is just going to be an easy 150 shutdown pickup for Jolingo. Just 40
Equalizing
seconds
gold.
before this next dragon. Little bit of extra gold for himself, yeah, and I just want to talk
Yeah.
about Q. He is playing that Zeri, right? That is... I would go as far as to say the most snowbally champion in the game. I think if Zeri gets one kill, even especially a double kill in laning phase, that just turns the game around completely. And especially with a first Rift Herald throw like that from WLS, it is very
Yeah.
solidly in favor of CB Diamond going to this next dragon. They could absolutely have very scary dragon stacking starting up here if they are able to take this second dragon for themselves. Hook will be flashed away by Conrex. Earl King with the Predator straight onto Q though, and with that baby cage on top of it as well, there's nowhere left to run. 300 shutdown picked up for Earl King once again. You killed him once, you gotta do it again, and you just can't do that if he is one-shotting your ADC, and the dragon stacking will be stopped, tying the dragon score up once again, and yet again securing the gold lead for WLS.
Oh, little Chovy. Ooh, okay, he's fine.
Almost
Yeah.
landing, but will just about go wide.
Oh no, this referral, no! This is such
Oh
a-
goodness,
I think
oh
he gets a
goodness,
crush.
oh my gosh.
Okay,
Okay,
go.
let's go. Little Chovy, solo gold for
Oh,
him.
no. Yeah, that was so close to being one of the saddest potential referrals, because it's not like the putting it down on mid lane is bad. It's bad when the minions come crashing and they stop the referral just about. But they get mid lane turret gold. They get the top lane turret potentially as well. Yeah, it's dead. Oh, Piniona, you're dead.
All 5
You're
solo
dead.
plates picked up by HTK
Oh.
there. He has the grand challenge on the Beanie Yoma, and he's almost able to turn that 1-for-1.
1-for-1?
Luckily, he does have help from Kyle Goodther. Is able to steal away that body and secure the 1-for-1 in the end for HTK, as he burned quite a lot for that. Unfortunately, not going to be able to secure the final kill, so not as much gold as he would have liked, but still, that is 5 solo tower plates picked up for this Fiora now, not even with the help of any Rift Heralds, of course. Rift Herald dropped mid lane, so you have a whole lot of plates being taken by CB Diamond, and that is largely what is contributing to their gold lead right now.
Yeah, it's a whole of the value, and it's the counterpart of the fact that we saw Benyona moving around so much. You leave the Fiora alone in top lane means that she should get a lot of the gold, a lot of the plates, a lot of the farm as well. Even though she doesn't have the highest of farm lead, it's just 9 minions, well now less thanks to action collecting it. She does get the 5 plates by herself, not even using the Herald, which I think it's quite important because the Herald was used. Oh, that was so nice.
Nice smite there from Kyle Good. I think this mid tower could be under fire by CB Diamond here in the next couple of minutes. It is Cloud Soul this game, so not as impactful as the Mountain that we had last game, but still very powerful and is very important for either team to just maybe just take away from the other more than actually use for themselves here. Earl King almost level 11 on the Viagra. That is a big power spike for him, of course. Maybe not as big as something like a Kale, but I still call these like level 11, level 16 type of power spikers, right? Maybe not so much in items, but levels are just huge on these types of
Yeah.
champions.
Yeah, the levels are always possible. Like you're pointing out, maybe not in everyone, but in some champions they can make an important difference.
Yeah.
And in the in the right player's hands, even you can just find so much
Ooh.
value. Nice cleanse by Overreach.
Enchanted Crystalla
Oh,
burned there by Q. Both of the cleanses now taken out of both of these 80 carries. Condrix does not have that flash veil. Final Ninja following up on that, but both the supports now trading their lives.
Soulbert,
Kyle
you need to be
Good
careful.
getting to steal away a Nautilus. He can flash hook, and that hook is going to miss. Earl King going to be flashing, or not flashing away from it for himself. Kyle Good using that second heartbreaker for himself, but then he just got one shot. Poor Soulbert, man. He has not had a very fun series. Earl King almost falls to the point and click Cinder ultimate there on top of it as well. Binyoma,
Binyona.
my friend, you just dove onto 3 people. Jolingo could be falling for it here as well. Grand Challenge will secure that kill for him as well. Kyle Good 3-0-4 on the Viego. So well played by him in this game too.
Yeah, doing such a nice job, Kalkut, getting onto the correct spots to be able to play around this. It does fall into the fact that there was a lot of overreach from the side of Will of Soulbert in a lot of these fights, but still really nice capitalization from the plays that we're seeing. And I feel like even though Will of Soulbert is not that far behind, I'm kind of scared for them because we're seeing fights where their lack of tankiness is actually affecting them. And it feels like just a blow of something, just blowing their face can kill them. So I'm kind of scared about the potential later on in this game.
There are 24 kills at the 16-minute mark here. This is the complete opposite of game 1 in this series. No, game 1 was very quiet. We had, I think, 1, maybe 2 kills at the 10-minute mark, and now we have 24 at the 16-minute mark. The second, or both the Rift Heralds even did go to CB Diamond. Next Dragon here, Cloud Dragon number 1, Dragon number 2 for either of these teams here in just under 45 seconds. Current bot side river control is fully in the favor of WLS. CB Diamond will have to walk in with blindfolds completely secured over their face. Enchanted Crystalla almost landing there on the Q. Not having cleanse could have almost secured them a kill, but just goes wide a little bit.
What is it with Ashes not hitting the rash arrow in this series? I feel like there has to be something in this series about not hitting Ash arrows because the amount of times that we have missed those, it's amazing. But it does mean that they don't get a play onto the series, and instead HTK is just doing what he wants, pushing on the side lane, getting value here, maybe dying here, but
HTK with that Ignite ticking on him doesn't get a whole lot of healing with that Grand Challenge burn, but not able to get any autos onto it. It's just, he's being chunked out real low, does get that extra bonus local gold from taking the inner turret. 4v4 down here for this second Dragon. It does look like Binyoma will be the first top laner to make his way down to this Dragon, and with that, WLS buying as much as time as they can. HTK has the TP available. First or second Rift Herald is dropped on the bot side now by CB Diamond. That is starting the timer for WLS. Start the Dragon or start rocking to your bot side. Dragon will be started up by CB Diamond and going into the backside now. Condrix with that Solar Flare. Dragon is taken by CB Diamond, but will they secure the fight for themselves as well? Once again, Earl King, so much damage with that ultimate and huge BB cage for him as well, but it's another double kill for HTK. Earl King, you can't run very far, my friend. 3 kills plus 2 and 1.5 towers plus a Dragon secured by CB Diamond.
Yeah, this game feels like it's going to be CB Diamond favor. Like this just feels like there's no stopping for CB Diamond, and it's the thing that we're talking about since the start. They are really weak in terms of survivability. Like they have a ton of damage, but if they are not able to pick someone up or get control over someone before they get engaged on, they die because they cannot survive long enough the damage. Like Syndra burst them, the Viego burst them, the Seri even burst them. So it's so hard for them to be able to survive long enough, and it's banking a lot on the Veigar getting a nice event horizon to control the space. And we have seen Earth King utilizing the event horizon a little bit too consistently, too easily, without actually finding any value, and you just end up missing the cooldown.
I don't know, man. That baby cage, that fight right there, that 3-man was kind of clean. I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
The problem is that it was the third one. Like that was the third baby cage in.
Hey man, you hit 1 out of
seconds.
3 sometimes. I know these from my 1v1s. Very high level play I had right there. You only gotta hit 1. It's like a blitzcrank cook, right? You only gotta land 1, and that can win a team fight. Unfortunately, the one right
Yeah.
there was not enough to turn the entire team fight, but
Yeah, like I get your point. The problem is that if you're hitting the last one when the fight is already lost, is it actually worth?
I'm a believer. You're a
Like if you
doubter.
hit the
I'm a
first one,
believer.
yes,
Let's see this
he's dead
1v1
here.
here. Grand challenge popped by HDK. Gonna be able to
Yep,
parry
he's dead.
through the baby cage and Earl King. There, he tried, man. He has so much CC. He really did try to turn it. Now it is a 300 shutdown for HDK on his head, with him getting that solo kill onto one of the side laners.
Murat
Does
doesn't
mean that
have
the
teleport.
rest of CB Diamond are looking to start up this Baron, but it is still so scary. Being Yoma showing his face down here on the bot side. HDK, no grand challenge, does have that flash available, but being Yoma showing on the bot side does mean that the rest of CB Diamond can restart that Baron. So many members either dying or showing down here on the bot side of being Yoma. He's flashed on. He is dead. HDK with the unofficial double kill on both of the solo laners of WLS. This Baron is still going. It's been going for so long, but that's the initial, of course, they're all landed by Soulbert and Kyle Good. About to fall, has to flash smite, but it's not going to be enough healing. That's a triple kill picked up for Jalingo. Could be looking for a quadra kill onto Q. HDK could get an unofficial triple kill down here in the bot lane for Earl King. He TP'd in to try it, or walked over, tried to save it. That's the triple kill for HDK. Traded for the triple plus the Baron for Jalingo. This game is still wide open.
Oh, she failed the W into the wall. Okay, well, Soulbert should be dead here.
Wait, oh my.
Oh,
let's go,
got it.
Soulbert! We love Soulbert! Oh my gosh. Let's go.
That actually is a huge kill. That is a really, 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 really important kill. First of all, you don't lose the Baron as Soulbert. But second of all, you don't stop the tempo out of Will of Soulbert from that Baron bot. Because, and I called this out, the Fiora getting 2 kills should have been game over, realistically, because that means that no one can stop her in the sideline.
Yes.
Like, if that's the case, who will you send to the sideline to stop this Fiora? You cannot send anyone. But getting the Baron buff, that means that you don't need to stop the Fiora. You just need to out-push the rest of the map in comparison to the Fiora, which I think WLS is able to do. It's important now they win a fight, because with winning a fight means that they can open up the base, and with a base open, it becomes a little bit harder for the Fiora to be able to win a pushing fight if it comes to it, which I think is what WLS should be playing around for now. But the gold, it just goes out.
Solar Flare lands onto Soulbert. He is able to cleanse out of that one, though. But Kyle Good is still fishing for some sort of stun. Soulbert caught in the Grand Challenge. Is not going to be able to run away from that one. Q picking up his 5th kill of the game, even in Final Ninja. I don't think he's going to be able to run away from this one. Kyle Good, heartbreaker over the wall just to make sure the Final Ninja is not going to be able to run away from this one. He's buying a lot of time, actually. There are 4 members of CB Diamond chasing this Nautilus right now. You look on the rest of the map, you see Jalingo split pushing mid lane. Final Ninja, man, he is buying years worth of time from CB Diamond right now. They're about to lose their mid lane inner tower and could almost lose their bot lane from just the minions.
The value of the Final Ninja surviving for almost 15 seconds alone, running around the map, running around these members, just so that they could get the mid lane turret was so high. Now, Fiora was pushing on the side lane, which means that there's not like they cannot go for the side lane potential, but this dragon should be in the hands of WLS. They should be able to kill it. Oh, Fiora tipping in.
Earl King could be caught out here by Kyle Good. Has the Everfrost, but without a baby cage, he is just going to be dead. That is a soul point, Cloud soul point even, now going to be secured by CB Diamond. You look at this gold lead, right? Even the kill lead to some extent, it is so even. But the towers is where the real lead is at. It is 7-4 in these towers. Bot lane inhibitor is exposed by WLS. That is where all of this real gold lead and really the entire lead right now in the game for CB Diamond is on their top side, right? If HDK or Kyle Good are not in a fight, or more importantly, if HDK is just not actively on your inhibitor, then these fights go very solidly in the favor of WLS. It is just a matter of who is in the fight and how much gold do they have in their pocket.
Yeah, the gold div, the wallet div is going to be something to keep in mind. I even think that Fiora can now join fights by herself and really turn around the course of some fights just because of how much gold she has. But this game is turning really on who can stay the longer in a place so that you don't throw the game. Because if one person stays on the top side alone, then you engage onto the rest of the team, they die, you almost are throwing the game out. Oh,
Kyle Good has a shutdown on his head. Little Chovy there to protect him as well. And 5-man Goon Squad from
Oh my
WLS
god.
will be able to secure that blue buff and Gromp for them. Almost
Guess
a
what
kill
Gura is
on the
getting?
Kyle Good here as well. Baron is not on the map, so don't have to worry about that here quite yet, but you do have to worry about losing your bot lane inhibitor. You forgot about HTK for 1 second, and you're going to lose your inhibitor in that 1 second. First inhibitor now secured. It does look like next objective here for HTK will be split pushing on that top side.
HTK, I feel like it's a much more of what is it called? MMORPG player because the amount of time that he's spending PvEing instead of PvPing, it's quite amazing. Like I don't think he has been in more than one fight this game that includes more than one people. It's surprising to see, but it's netting the side of CB Diamond quite a few advantages. And after the way that the game started with him getting so killed, him being able to impact so much the map by himself is really, really important. I feel doing much more, doing equally, a little bit equally to how the Yorick was doing in the previous game, but finding actual value because he's been able to not only pull around people, but when people are pulled around on the other side of the map, actually get value out of that, getting the inhibitors, getting the push, getting onto the turrets. Really, really important by him to do this.
Let's see. We've got some potential action starting here in the mid lane. Lots of scary abilities thrown at each other, but nothing actually landing, so nothing is actually able to start. It is a very, very small lull point in the game. We have 60 seconds left to the Baron. That is going to be the next giant fight or next inhibitor taken for CB Diamond, depending on where they do want to play their macro side on the rest of this map here. Earl King fishing for something. Again, it is
There's
just
vision.
all based on what
Ooh.
can we get before this next team fight starts, right? Any sort of lead that either of these teams are able to get will most likely secure them this Baron, and depending on
Yeah.
how long the fight goes, we've had some very long fights in this series so far, could secure them the Dragon as well. It is still 2 minutes left to that Cloud Soul for CB Diamond, so they do want to be playing at least slightly safer. They don't have to immediately start the Baron on spawn, but I think the Cloud Soul will be very important for them if not.
I think they can do something similar to what they did in the previous game, where they left the soul and just opted for the Baron, which I think
Yes.
in their case is not. They don't need the Dragon. Like it's nice to have because they do like ultimate.
Kyle Good, hook, lance, force splash over the wall. Excellent engage there from Final Ninja, but without any follow-up
the double
CC
stun.
doesn't mean that they're able
Oh.
to continue this fight here. Little Chovy gonna go golden, buying some
Who's
time.
that?
Jalingo finding the first kill of this fight. Earl King TPing a little bit late. Baby Cage will
Oh,
secure
the
that
Horizon.
cleanse off of Q. And Little
Finally.
Chovy's just one shot, one tapped over the wall by BDM. 2 more kills picked up now by WLS. They can turn that on the
Guess what's
Baron,
up?
but they have to make sure that they watch their bot side as well.
Yeah, but they can rush this. They have 380 carries. Earth King needs to be careful. They have 380 carries, and Kyle Good, even though he has health, he trying to rush into that position can be hard. Oh, TP by HK.
TP by
Can he finish this?
HDK down here on the bot
Okay,
side.
he
Level
can.
16 plus Hullbreaker for the Fiora. Baron recalls, though, will be able to make sure that he doesn't get at least the second Nexus Tower. You got
Yeah.
one. He's got the inhibitor as well, so very, very well played there by HTK. Dragon, 20 seconds. This is the timer. Now you have Baron. Dragon, or I meant to say purple dragon cloak. I don't know where I got that from, but you know,
Purple dragon.
Baron cloak on all 5 members of
It would be great
WLS
to have a
here.
purple dragon. Oh, yeah,
Gentle
Cheryl.
Cristero does land onto Q, did not have the cleanse, but without any follow-up CC, didn't actually need it for that particular one. Baby Cage is not going to be able to find any targets, but Everfrost will get that flash out from Q.
Oh, the
HTK
three-man stun.
1v1 on a Soulbert, almost one-shotting him, and with the Grand Challenge, is going to be able to do it. Not enough healing from the ultimate, though. Now Jalingo to 1v1, Jungle 1v1 down here on the bot side. Heartbreaker almost secures the kill, but
Kylo,
Jalingo double kill for the Graves here. Once again, Condorix, last member standing for CB Diamond. Another dragon secured, and we are tied, almost tied on dragons once again for WLS.
Yeah, and I misspoke. Jalingo won. That's what I wanted to say. I don't know how he won against Kyle Good. He had more. Kyle Good had more health.
Yeah.
Had more. Should have been able to execute the Graves. But great kill out of Jalingo there. It could have been a much more dicey fight. I think they can win actually. 10 seconds they have.
Can they win the series?
They have double AD
They
carry
have
still.
Baron, they have one inhibitor taking
Engage in.
Condrix is the
Condrix is
only
dead.
member here, and he will go in, he
2
will buy
seconds.
just a couple of seconds with his life, and I think that's the end of the series. Nexus Tower will
Just
fall.
hit the
Nexus
Nexus.
is exposed. Little Chovy almost able to one-shot Earl King. Will have to back off the Nexus,
Just
but
hit the Nexus.
landed the baby cage. Will end the game. Will end the series. That's a 2-0 for WLS over the reigning champions of CV Diamond.
I'm surprised, and I want to give props to WLS because that game was really, really dicey. Like, they were losing a couple of objectives here and there. They didn't even have position in the map, but great fight in the mid lane to get onto the objective, get the Baron buff, and then crucial last fight for the Dragon. And I think it's really, really important to point out 3 things that happened in that fight for it to work out. First, positioning, because the members of CV
Yes.
Diamond were all in the choke points because they were inside of the tribush, but they were scouted really nicely by WLS. They get poked out. They were forced to use summoners to run away. They were forced into bad positions. And even though, and I really want to call Soulbert out for this, Soulbert flashes over the wall as an Ash for some reason. He does fight quite well against the Fiora, puts her in a tough spot, kills the Fiora thanks to the Graves. The Soulbert dies, but he's an AD carry. Who cares about them? He dies, and the Graves is able to turn around the fight. And crucially as well, Graves gets the kill on the Viego. If Graves dies there, then the Viego gets the possession to the Graves. He gets the damage of the Graves. He can then look to try and get the action. And if the action is dead, I think CBD Diamond wins that fight. But great, really important that those things turn out for the WLS. They were able to get the fight win. They were able to run the mid game, the mid lane, and win the game at the end. Really, really chaotic game overall.
Yeah, I said it at like the 15-minute mark, right? There were 26 kills or something along those lines at the 15-minute mark. Like that is an explosive, volatile early game for both of these teams. It was 12-12 as well. It wasn't like significantly in the lead of one team. WLS had a very strong opening, and then of course with the first Rift Herald throw that closed the goal lead a little bit for AB Diamond. Then they were able to snowball it in the first 3 Dragons. Unfortunately, not going to be able to secure any souls or barons. The series score says 2-0, right? But it doesn't feel like a 2-0. These two teams were so evenly matched. It should have been a 2-1 if you're looking at scorelines, I think.
Yeah, I feel like a game 3 would have been much more logical after what happened in the game 2. But I feel it also gives to WLS's capabilities, because even in a game that looked tough, they knew what they needed to do in certain instances, and they were able to turn it around. Now, I still feel angry about that play of the Herald. I'm not going to let WLS leave that down. I will remind them that play, even in playoffs, because that made me angry. I cannot let.
That's when LS takes out his calculator. That's one of those moments.
that actually made me angry. But the important thing is that they turn around, they won, and they are one step closer to securing that playoff bye.
Yes. One more step. I will take a quick peek here at the other series that we had tonight. It does look like I'm going to refresh my page because there's no way that Acclivity versus Lotus has not completed their series yet, right?
I hope we don't get any.
Okay, apparently they're still in their game 3 for Acclivity versus Lotus. I was very much looking forward to learning the results of that matchup. MSU did end up 2-0ing ISU, so MSU will be securing the 6th seed in the 6th playoff spot here, locking themselves in. I do believe that is 100% for them now. So unfortunately, ISU and Acclivity will be out of playoffs. I hesitate to say that now because they could
still have a chance.
They could be taking down Lotus as we speak. I don't know what's happening over there in their game 3, but that is an exciting one to watch. I did say it in between game 1 and game 2 here tonight, but VBU did end up 2-0ing Gothboy as well. So kind of some upsets here. If you're looking at standings, I mean, my power rankings, of course, were just absolutely perfect. Actually, let's take a second here. Beautiful. Yes, I did put Gothboy second. That is probably the most unfortunate thing that I did decide to do. I was on the Gothboy hype train. Didn't end up working so well. Just pretend that I switched VBU and Gothboy, and I think that's the real power rankings.
Just wait till next week where we change BBU and Gothboy, and then BBU loses. and Dogboy once again gets third place, and we're back to square one essentially.
And predictions as well. I will just show very quickly. Yes, so of course we still have one more series, Acclivity versus Lotus in their game 3. If Acclivity does take that series, we will all be wrong. If Lotus takes that series, we will all be right. So it is going to be very entertaining to see what happens there. But
Yep.
that will be the end of the night for us here on the CB Diamond broadcast. Of course, we did announce the 1v1 tournament that will be happening not this weekend, but next weekend. More information will be coming out about that sometime tonight or tomorrow in announcements. So keep an eye out for that one. Of course, we have the platinum and gold streams on here tonight or tomorrow and Wednesday respectively. So make sure you come back for that one. Or of course, more Diamond Week 7, final week of playoffs for us next week. Thank you all for watching. I hope you had a fantastic evening and catch you back here for some Platinum League.